Well, we got Tony here today. I appreciate you coming in.
Glad to be here, Dr. Johnson.
Well, this whole thing is a journey, and the first part of it is just getting to the starting line with this. Take me back to before you had the surgery and what your thoughts were and what kind of led you to the surgery.
Well, what happened was I had actually tried to get the surgery done a couple of years prior and had difficulty with the doctor that I was going through at the time. But you all were referred to me by some people, friends of mine that had actually came to you guys.
Yeah.
So I was super comfortable already because I knew somebody that had been through it.
Right.
But I got to the point where I was almost 400 pounds. My blood sugars, A1C in the tens.
Yeah.
I felt horrible. I didn't want to get up and go do nothing. It was just a terrible, terrible place.
Yeah.
And I tried every diet that you could think of. Tried to exercise. Try to eat different. It lasts for a few days, a week,
Right.
2 weeks, and then it just go right back to what I was doing. I couldn't really change I couldn't get a grip on my mind, I think, and change the way I was thinking about eating and food and things like that. But I finally got to the point where I needed to do something.
Right.
And I reached out to you all, and from the first phone call I made, everybody was fantastic.
Oh, good.
And I came in and went through the process. I met you for the first time, and matter of fact, it's almost been a year. It was August, when it started.
Right.
The journey, and everything just through that 3-month period before my surgery in November, which was November when I had it, and it was just absolutely phenomenal. Your staff handled everything. It was an easy process. I had to do my part, of course,
Right.
because it is a team effort. It's not, it's not. You don't have a magic formula or nothing.
That's right.
No genie in a bottle. Yeah, you had to work on. I had to accept the fact that I needed to get this done because the flip side of it, the alternative was going to be potential to be much worse.
Right. It's hard to lose weight. It really is. And people that struggle, and it's a continued struggle. And it's not like it's just exercise a little bit more and fix this in your diet, fix that, and it all magically gets better. It's tough, and these surgeries just give you this realistic way out of that situation.
Right.
It's not a as you well know, it's not a cure. It's a tool.
It is.
And you have to use the tool. And I always like to think of it like a partnership. And our job is to do a good surgery and then to teach you how to use this tool and have a system set up to make you successful. And you got to take it and run with it after that and make the changes with the diet. And everything.
Right. And one thing that I will say that you and the team did was set the expectations and told me exactly what to expect, and everything was right, 100% on point. There was no surprises that popped up, and I appreciated that very, very much.
Take me through the after the surgery. Like, how was the diet then, and how's right after the surgery, and then up till now, how are you?
Well, right after I did the surgery right at Thanksgiving time, so.
Toughest time.
It is.
The
Thanksgiving, Christmas, the family all coming over, cooking turkey, ham, and dressing, and all this kind of stuff. And of course, I did get a little bit of dressing. That was about it.
You're on the soft diet.
Very soft diet, yeah.
Exactly.
But that was a challenge, but it got easier.
Yeah.
A week turned into 2 weeks, turned into a month, turned into 2 months. It's a process. And when I got to where I was so excited about when I was able to go to regular food.
Yeah.
Man, it was like I hit the lottery. It was like I was just super excited.
Right.
And the dietitian had called me and she said, "We're going to go ahead and get you on your regular diet now." And so we went over kind of what to do and all. Like I said, you guys were there every step of the way. But now I can pretty much eat what I want. It's just a lot less. Yeah. Which is what the whole thing is. That's the whole way it works. And I feel full. I'm very content. I eat a little more often. I try to eat a little more often, but I enjoy the food that I do eat. even though it's not very much.
Right.
It's very, very enjoyable. But I figured I had 50-something years to eat
Right.
all I wanted and whatever I wanted. Now I needed to get control, and I think this tool is one that really helped me get control.
And there's a transition. I mean, you like you say, you've eaten a certain way for decades. You don't just click it off like that and just go to this new way of eating. But it's just, we don't want you to go into this ever thinking we're taking away enjoyment of food. We want you to enjoy food. We want you to enjoy cultural meals and holiday meals. You're just gonna be eating smaller. Obviously, you can't eat much, so it's all about prioritizing what you are eating. Get your meat first, your vegetables second, and then you're usually full. And you have no room for that.
Exactly right.
That other stuff.
Exactly right. And that is a process that you have to. It takes a moment to get your mind, wrapped around.
Right.
There were times I would sit on the couch and eat potato chips and dip, until they were gone.
Right.
Now it's one of those things where you have to. You think about what you got to do,
right,
and know that you got to have your proteins and your vegetables and things like that, and it's just changing your priorities. But when you start feeling better and your medication list starts getting smaller, and your clothes you start getting smaller, and you start getting new clothes, and you start seeing the transformation, it really is a boost, and it makes it all worth it.
We were just talking about the things that you can do now that you couldn't before, and those are, people that don't have a weight issue aren't necessarily thinking along those lines. They're huge deals when you do have a weight issue.
They are. And one of my first milestones that I felt was a milestone was going to a restaurant and being able to sit in the booth.
Yeah.
You don't even realize being big, you're always looking for a table with a chair so you can slide it in and out. And even if it's the Waffle House or whatever it is, just the thought of being embarrassed trying to slide into a booth is an event.
Mm-hmm.
But even the first time I went to Waffle House, I looked at my wife and I said, I'm gonna try to sit in the booth. And she said, okay, let's sit in the booth. And I was holding my breath, man. And I slid in there, and I had room, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And those little wins like that, I think, you can't really put a price tag on, especially when you're big and you go out and you feel like people are watching you, and you feel like that. Am I going to sit in that chair and break? Stuff like that. It's real stuff. And 7 months into the journey, I wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah. Well, you're doing great.
I'm super, super excited, and I appreciate all that y'all done. I can't say how much I appreciate it.
Well, we're enjoying watching you go through the journey.
Thank you, Doctor.
All right, you bet.
Yeah.